The people who need your explanation most are usually the ones who profit from your weakness. They feed on access, reactions, and the illusion that you owe them warmth. The second you become unrateable, they lose control and start panicking because, 1. Cut the feed, not the drama. Toxic leeches survive on proximity. They want your attention, your sympathy, your spare minutes, your emotional labor. Every time you explain a boundary to a parasite, you give it a language to negotiate with. That is the mistake. You do not need a speech. You need a disappearance. Stop answering immediately. Stop justifying your focus. Stop handing out personal context like it is harmless. The colder your delivery, the less material they have to twist. Use short confirmations. Use closed answers. Use the energy of a locked door. If they ask why you are unavailable, do not build a courtroom defense. Say less than they expect. Give them nothing to argue with. The goal is not to win their approval. The goal is to make access expensive. People respect what they cannot easily consume. 2. Become hard to map. A toxic coworker studies patterns the way a predator studies footprints. They learn when you are tired, when you are generous, when you are insecure, when you are trying too hard to be liked. Once they can predict you, they can push you. So break the pattern. Be consistent in performance, not in availability. Let your results remain visible while your personal life becomes private territory. Do not overshare about your mood, your plans, your struggles, your ambitions. Keep your sentences functional. Keep your schedule cleaner than your explanations. The less they know, the less ammunition they own. Think about your own life for a second. Who always seems to appear when you are at your weakest, your busiest, or your most generous? That is not coincidence. That is appetite. And appetite disappears the moment the meal stops presenting itself. Which means the most dangerous power move is not aggression. It is strategic unavailability. 3. Let silence do the cutting. Silence is not weakness. Silence is a psychological wall. Most toxic people are addicted to immediate response. They provoke, test, bait, interrupt, and demand clarification because reaction is proof that they still matter. When you refuse to perform that reaction, they feel the first crack in their leverage. Do not argue with manipulation. Do not explain a boundary 3 times. State it once, then let the silence sit there like a judge's gavel. If someone tries to drag you into a pointless emotional spiral, pause before answering. Hold eye contact. End the exchange cleanly. The discomfort they feel is not your problem. It is the sound of their control failing. The quietest person in the room often owns the most power because the room cannot read where the blade is aimed until it is too late. 4. Make your absence valuable. A boss does not fear a hard-working employee. A boss fears a reliable employee whose absence creates friction. This is where amateurs fail. They try to be indispensable by being available for everything. Wrong. That creates dependence, not leverage. True leverage comes from becoming the person whose work is stable, whose standards are high, and whose departure would expose weak systems. Document your output. Create visible value. Solve the problem before it becomes a fire, then vanish from the noise. When you are always around, you are background furniture. When you are strategically absent, your absence starts speaking for you. Let others notice the gap. Let them feel the inconvenience of your absence without ever hearing you complain. That tension is what changes how management sees you. They do not have to adore you. They only have to realize the room functions differently when you are not there. And once that realization lands, you are no longer easily replaceable. 5. Starve the leeches of emotional currency. The most toxic colleagues are not always loud. Some are soft-spoken, needy, and endlessly concerned. They ask tiny questions designed to open doors. They offer fake solidarity to extract your truth. They perform friendship while harvesting information. Do not feed them. Answer with professional precision. Redirect personal questions back to work. Share nothing that could be reenacted in a gossip chain. If they push for explanations about your boundaries, repeat the boundary, not the story behind it. The story is the hook. The boundary is the wall. The more emotionally rich your responses are, the easier you are to pull apart. The more clinically precise you become, the less human material they can exploit. This is how you become untouchable, not by becoming cruel, but by becoming impossible to use. If you want to build this kind of presence with real-world depth, study the systems behind it instead of relying on instinct alone. To master these tactics in real life, get the Silent Observer's Playbook or check out the recommended reading in the description below. Like and subscribe for more.